Hey guys, so a lot of you have been, ever since I released the first money making method video on the channel, a lot of you guys have been messaging me about different money making methods. So I thought I'd just show you how I sustain 2 bonds every 2 weeks, one on my Ultimate Iron Man and one on my Iron Man, using this bond slave account, which used to be my Iron Man before it got hacked, which kind of sucks. But anyway, now it's kind of convenient because I can drop items over to him and sell them on GE, and this is just sort of like my alternate bank / bond slave account. So I'll just show you guys a couple of quick methods on how I maintain those bonds, and without further ado, let's get into it. So one of the things that I've started doing that I like doing a lot is just flipping these high value useful items. So here we've got a Dragon Hunter Lance that just bought for 94,125k. So that's like the upper limit of the buy of the bid ask spread. In stocks we talk about the bid ask spread. There's a spread between what the highest bidder and the lowest asker is willing to pay. So in this case, it's around 100k. The highest bidder is paying 94.05 mil, and the lowest asker is asking for 94.125 mil. So that's a 75k spread. That's like pretty much the lowest you're gonna get on this item. But we're gonna go ahead and, you know, buy like 3 of them. All right, that was like really quick. Normally it doesn't happen that quick, but that only took like less than 30 seconds. All 3 of them bought. So we're gonna go ahead and collect those. As you can see, we bought for, you know, what we thought we would. And now we're just gonna sell them for the, what we bought them for to test the bid ask price. So this will be the current ask price. And now we're gonna wait for those to sell. So while these are waiting to sell, I'm just going to quickly scroll through my history of the past couple days. Here you can see we've got a Dragon Hunter Lance with a margin of around 133k. Did a lot of Dragon Warhammers. We like Dragon Hunter crossbows. And there's a reason we select all of these items. You know, we just max out our GA limits on all of these, which is 8 per 4 hours. So we'll do 8 Lances per 4 hours, 8 Dragon Hunter crossbows. Right here, the Dragon Hunter crossbow, the margin was around 400k. You can do 8 of those per 4 hours, so that's that's 3.2 mil minus the one that we did to test the limits, which is like that's pretty insane. So these have been sitting in here for about 5 minutes. None of them have sold, which means that it could be the case that the ask price is no longer 94.125 mil, so our undercut by 3GP is no longer putting them at the instant sell price, which is what we want. So we're just going to lower these down to 94.119. So it's a 6,000 GP reduction in the price. Times 3 is an 18k reduction. But that's fine. I mean, we don't want to spend time in the market. We're not trying to speculate on the medium, short-term, and long-term price movement of this item. We just want to get in and out as fast as possible. And this is called arbitrage trading. It's just squeezing out the inefficiencies of the market in terms of the bid-ask spread.
You know, feel free to look it up on Investopedia.com for a more comprehensive explanation.
You know, in the traditional stock market, there's like bots that do this. They just they do arbitrage trading, and they just like squeeze out little micro inefficiencies constantly. You know, all day they make millions and millions of dollars. I don't know if there's bots doing that on RuneScape. So, I mean, if they are, they're not doing a very good job because they're still leaving a lot of profit behind. Or maybe this kind of 75k margin is not good enough profit for them. I don't know. All right, so they all sold. They all sold about with like 5 seconds of each other, which means we were the current lowest ask price. Gonna go ahead and collect that. We did lower the price twice. Unfortunately, there's no way to know if it's just that there are none selling or if you're no longer the current ask price. So we better safe than sorry. We just went ahead and lowered it twice. All right, so we're gonna try the Dragon Hunter crossbow. Let's see what the margins on this are. So the ask price is 112,444. And the bid is 112,344. So there's a 100k margin on these. We've got a buy limit of 8, which means a max profit of 800k. We're gonna put in 2 because that's all we can afford. All right, so those both bought pretty quickly. We're gonna turn around. All right, so these went ahead and sold. Let's collect those. And the 690 to 886. That's a 200k profit. So we're gonna do a couple more of those. So it's been about 10 minutes. These Dragon Hunter crossbows aren't buying, so we're gonna go ahead and try and find a different thing to buy.
You know, we're not emotionally attached to any of these items, which can be hard to do if it's like a, you know, you're trading like a 500k margin on something cheap. You want to be a stone cold trader, you know? If there's no volume on the item, then take it and move on.
So it's like a 90k margin. We'll go ahead and buy a couple of those.
So we're just going to speed up an hour of trading by 10 times. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time talking about a little bit of the intricacies of doing this. If it's not already apparent, I have done a little bit of stock trading. I'm by no means very good at it, but I mean, I do okay. It's actually how I make my income that I live off of. You know, it takes money to make money, so you can do a little bit of deduction to figure out my situation. But there's just a few basic things that I want to cover. I'm going to put a list on the screen of like my favorite items, and I'll go over why they're so good. So generally this list goes from more expensive to less expensive. We tend to want to stay around the more expensive items because they have bigger margins, but the higher the price the item tends to be, the lower the volume. Because, you know, how many people are trading like a twisted bow? How many people have a billion GP to trade around, you know what I mean? And so when you have really low volume, which is just the amount of the item traded in a given period of time, it tends to not be beneficial for the trader because the trader wants to be in and out of the market, you know? If there's one twisted bow traded every hour, you're probably not going to be able to profit off trading it in like a short amount of time, you know? This is also just the item list that I use. I only have about 300 mil on this account, so I can't do any items over the price of the ghrazi rapier. There's like Inquisitor pieces, but they have such low volume that they're not even on the list at all. So our favorite items, if we go down to like the 4th and 5th item on the list, is the dragonbane weapons. These items have just good volume, you know, around 3k traded per day. I'll put another picture on the screen of, you know, just, you can go to the old school RuneScape homepage and then click on Grand Exchange, and it'll show you the items traded per day and, you know, the price history over the last 6 months. So dragonbane weapons they have the, in terms of the relationship between the price of the item, the volume of the item, and the consistency of the margins, the dragonbane weapons are my favorite, personally. You might find more prosperity elsewhere, but you know, this is just how I do it. You know, I'm not trying to claim that what I do is the best or that you guys should do what I do or anything like that. I'm just showing you guys the things that I do that work. As we inch down the price list, we go from 100 mil for those for the dragonbane down to the dragon claws, which is like 60 mil, and dragon warhammer. These are just really both useful items, so there's high volume and they're high cost, so that's good for margins. The armadyl, chestplate, and skirt, you know, those are best in slot range items, so they're pricey and they're traded a lot. Again, just good volume and good margins, consistent margins. Now the primordial boots and the pegasian boots, so far all of the items have had a GE limit of 8 or less, but the pegasian boots and primordial boots are getting down into like the 30 mil price range where you tend to see higher GE limits. Their GE limits is like 15 per 4 hours, so that's roughly twice as much as like 8, obviously. So if it's a 100k margin on a GE limit of 8, that's 800k profit, but if it's a 100k margin on GE limit of 15, that's a 1.5 mil profit. Pretty basic math. And as we continue down, you just got the saradomin, godsword, abyssal, bludgeon, imbued heart. These are all just generally useful items for PVM, and you know, we don't want to get too low price. You can go as low as, you know, like the blowpipe. You can get like a 10k margin on that, trade like 10 of them and make 100k. You know, you gotta, like I said earlier, it takes money to make money. Wealth accrues wealth. You'll notice that I'm just looking at stocks a little bit while I'm doing this because that's my day job. Pretty much the lowest items that we're willing to trade are the Zenite jewelry. Sometimes I'm able to get like a 100k margin on these, which is really great because they have like a GE limit of 70. I think the torture has a GE limit of 10,000 for some reason. So, you know, if you're getting like a 40k margin on the anguish, for example, and you're trading 70 of them, just do the math. That's either 2.8 mil or 28 mil. Probably 2.8 mil, because 28 mil would be ridiculous. And so with all that said, I'm just going to cut back to the live commentary.
Well, we managed to buy and sell 6 of the sanguinesti staffs for about a 300k margin each, as well as 6 armadyl plate legs for around a 30k margin each. So that's roughly a 2 mil profit. I'll just let this scroll through here so you can see all the orders. I believe we started this video with a 290 mil cash stack. I mean, we spent about an hour doing this, made about 3 mil, so, you know, and the GE limits will reset every 4 hours, so you know, you can start again. And obviously get our daily battle staves for that free like 60k or whatever. And you know, we've done a bit of Nightmare Zone on this account, training our combat stats, so we still have a bit of points, and every day we like to come and buy our daily herb boxes. These are like 1 point in terms of herb boxes, I think is like either 1 or 2 GP. So since you can buy 15 per day, that's like 150k profit per day you can get from these. Now you guys might be wondering, well, I don't have 500 mil. I can't do any of this. And that's where this part comes in 202. So there's currently a 2 GP margin on cannonballs with a GE limit of 7k. That's 14k profit potential. Not really interesting to us. Let's see. Oak plank 613. 606. 7 GP margin on the oak plank's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and max out our GE limit on those. So 7 GP times 13K. That's 91K if we can buy all these and sell them all, which we will be able to, as I mean, price isn't going to move that much in like a couple minutes. That's a big margin on dragon bones. 40 GP. I mean, that's like 300K profit if we can just pull the arbitrage bit here. All right, so this is finally all finished. I mean, you can tell by the minigame timer, we've been sitting here for like 10 minutes to get all this. Let's see what the total profit is here. So our total profit here is 230K. We easily could have gotten a lot more in that time. We just wanted it to look nice for like a thumbnail. This will probably be our thumbnail. But I mean, generally you want to sell them off as you're buying them. And we were sort of hogging up all of our GE slots to get this nice aesthetically pleasing picturama. So we're going to hit that satisfying collect and wipe out everything. So for these kinds of items, I just consult the old school RuneScape Grand Exchange page for the most traded items. So these are extremely high volume, low margin trades that are guaranteed, you know, 1 GP, 2 GP margins. Sometimes you can get up to like 10 GP margins. Like if you get 10 GP on like a law rune, you know, it's like 120K profit. It's pretty easy to get. Or you can just keep in, like there was a point where I had like 3 million flax buying for 3. And every time you would buy, I'd just sell it for 4. So that's like a free 200K profit per day or whatever. You just hunt around all of these items, see what fits. There was a while where I was buying, like I had like 2 million rune arrows buying for 61 and I'd sell them for 63 every day. So I was another 200K profit free every day. There's all kinds of GE limits and margins you can get on here. So I'll often consult this if I don't know what else to trade or if I've hit the GE limits for everything that I normally already trade. But yeah, this is what you guys would use if you don't have that much GP to flip with. So just one last thing I wanted to show you guys. I think I have like 5 more days worth of flipping footage, but I think I'm just going to call it the end of the video pretty soon here. I don't want to drag it out too long, but the last thing I want to show you is that just, you know, every night before I go to bed, if I want to make some money, I'll put in a bunch of lowball orders on the GE. We just happen to do a bunch of runes this time for no particular reason. Sort of just to show you that, you know, you could, even if you restrict yourself to just like one form of item, you can still profit. It's sort of, you can extrapolate from that. Sort of like you can extrapolate from that if you can make a lot of money from one item, then you can probably make a lot of money from a lot of items. And so we just bought a bunch of runes and sold them back when we woke up, and we profited 693K. So this clip is being recorded after all has been said and done. It's about 5 days after we started this journey. The cash stack started at 290 mil, and now it's at 305 mil. You know, we probably flipped items for about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours. So it would seem that our profit was around 3 mil an hour. If the profit was any lower than that, we would probably just run this account as a Rune Dragon alt. But currently, Rune Dragon alts are only like 1.5 mil an hour, so flipping seems to be the best thing to do. Also, flipping's just way more chill. You don't have to worry about dying. You can just pick it up and put it down whenever you want. You're just chilling in the GE. So I was thinking about maybe making this video into a series, like just a flipping series on how I support my Iron Man and Ultimate Iron Man in terms of bonds on both of those accounts. So let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. Otherwise, you know, if you made it to the end of this and you liked it, go ahead and show some support by pressing that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos. You know, if you have any questions, just PM me in game. I'm more than happy to respond. I'm a pretty small YouTuber, so I mean, I can afford to be personable, whereas the bigger guys really can't. Some of you might notice that I'm actually not wearing my white party hat anymore. That's because I gave it to a subscriber, and I vowed to never wear another one again. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Cheers. Stay safe. I love you. See you next time. Peace out. Bye.